It was in the church of San Lorenzo at Naples, in the year 1758, that Vincentio di Vivaldi first saw Ellena Rosalba. The sweetness and fine expression of her voice attracted his attention to her figure, which had a distinguished air of delicacy and grace, but her face was concealed in her veil. So much indeed was he fascinated by the voice that a most painful curiosity was excited as to her countenance, which he fancied must express all the sensibility of character that the modulation of her tones indicated. He listened to their exquisite expression with a rapt attention, and hardly withdrew his eyes from her person till the matin service had concluded, when he observed her leave the church with an aged lady who leaned upon her arm and who appeared to be her mother. Vivaldi immediately followed their steps, determined to obtain, if possible, a view of Elena's face, and to observe the home to which she should retire. They walked quickly, looking neither to the right or left, and as they turned into the Strada di Toledo, he had nearly lost them, but quickening his pace, and relinquishing the cautious distance he had hitherto kept, he overtook them as they entered on the Terrazzo Nuovo, which runs along the Bay of Naples and leads towards the Gran Corso. He overtook them, but the fair unknown still held her veil close, and he knew not how to introduce himself to her notice, nor to obtain a view of the features which excited his curiosity. He was embarrassed by a respectful timidity that mingled with his admiration, and which kept him silent, notwithstanding his wish to speak. In descending the last steps of the terrazzo, however, the foot of the elder lady faltered, and, while Vivaldi hastened to assist her, the breeze from the water caught the veil, which Ellena had no longer a hand sufficiently disengaged to confine, and, wafting it partially aside, disclosed to him a countenance more touchingly beautiful than he had dared to image. Her features were of the Grecian outline, and though they expressed the tranquillity of an elegant mind, her dark blue eyes sparkled with intelligence. She was assisting her companion so anxiously as not immediately to observe the admiration she had inspired, but the moment her eyes met those of Vivaldi, she became conscious of the effect, and hastily drew her veil. The old lady was not materially hurt by her fall, but as she walked with difficulty, Vivaldi seized the opportunity thus offered and insisted that she should accept his arm. She refused this with many acknowledgments, but he pressed the offer so repeatedly and respectfully that, at length, she accepted it, and they walked towards her residence together. On the way thither, he attempted to converse with Ellena, but her replies were concise, and he arrived at the end of the walk while he was yet considering what he could say that might interest and withdraw her from this severe reserve. From the style of their residence, he imagined that they were persons of honourable but moderate independence. The house was small, but exhibited an air of comfort and even of taste. It stood on an eminence, surrounded by a garden and vineyards which commanded the city and bay of Naples, an ever-moving picture, and was canopied by a thick grove of pines and majestic date trees, and, though the little portico and colonnade in front were of common marble, the style of architecture was elegant. While they afforded a shelter from the sun, they admitted the cooling breezes that rose from the bay below, and the prospect of the whole scope of its enchanting shores. Vivaldi stopped at the little gate, which led into the garden, where the elder lady repeated her acknowledgments for his care, but did not invite him to enter, and he, trembling with anxiety and sinking with disappointment, remained for a moment gazing upon Ellena, unable to take leave, yet irresolute what to say that might prolong the interview, till the old lady again bade him good day. He then summoned courage enough to request he might be allowed to inquire after her health, and, having obtained a reluctant permission, his eyes bade adieu to Ellena, who, as they were parting, ventured to thank him for the care he had taken of her aunt.